Okay, so welcome. We are going to do the Pink Boot Camp today, and this is Systems for Success. So we're going to start off with a little bit of business management, including customer service. We're going to do time management and office systems today. Um, I'm going to go over really quickly 16 steps to good customer service. So when we follow up with our customers, we use the 2+2+2 rule. That means after we have our initial facial or party beauty experience with our customers, we want to follow up with them in 2 days. And we check in. We want to follow up with them in 2 weeks to get back together with them for their second appointment to be shared with friends. And then we want to follow up with them each and every other month, every 2 months. And one of the things that with technology today, we can go ahead and send out text. So I will be sharing this with y'all. I am creating some new systems. I did sit down, make me some cute pic collages over the weekend that I can send out to my customers who purchase product from me within 2 days, and then also those who did not, to continue that relationship. And then I'm also created another text that will go out a couple of days after that, and that will invite them to join my customer, my VIP of Lisa Bradley, my Facebook group, so that I can build that Facebook group. So the next thing we want to do after we follow up with 2+2 is you want to make sure you have your website set up so that your customers can shop with you 24/7. And when you have your website set up, you can go ahead and literally have it set up that you have your customers direct ship, and that if someone orders online, it can go directly to your customers. That will save you time. You want to offer your customers more than one way to reach you, because we live in a world of, pretty much microwave instant society. So we want to be, you could let them know you can reach me via text, you can reach me via phone call, email, what is best for you. Number 4 steps to giving great customer service is making sure you have adequate inventory on hand. I know that I sold a product. I did 2 parties yesterday and 1 party on Thursday, and I was missing a cleanser. I didn't realize I was missing one out of a set. So the girl picked it up today. I had it at my house, and then the other one wanted a mineral powder foundation that I happened to be out of. And so I'm delivering it to her tomorrow, but she's texting me today going, are you delivering my product today? So our customers want immediate delivery, and so it is important to make sure that we have adequate inventory on hand. And then samples, you want to carry samples with you so that you can bless people along everywhere that you go. And then a question that I get asked, hey there, Leslie, a question that I get asked, we're talking about customer service, is should I charge my customers shipping when I'm mailing product to them? Well, here is my personal opinion, and everybody can have their own thoughts around that. I've never charged my customers shipping. I feel like if I want to keep a customer, like if she lives all the way across town from me, it would be cheaper for me to pay for the shipping than it would be for me to spend the time to actually drive across town and drop it off on her porch. But I also have customers that have moved out of San Antonio, and I know they could very easily go get a local consultant. And so for them, I choose not to okay, Crystal, you're going to have to settle down somewhere because you're just walking all over the place, and I am having ADHD all over the place. So I'm going crazy. I'm like trying not to look at you. All right, let me grab my.
Sorry, Logan's running back and forth. I'm trying to do both.
I'm like, oh
I'm
my
good. I'm
gosh,
sitting
what
down.
are you doing?
I'm sitting down.
You're
Down.
so funny. Okay. So shipping. So I don't charge my customers shipping. I'm trying to go, oh my gosh, help me. Okay. Per PCP. So enroll our customers in preferred customer program. So on the 17th of April is the enrollment deadline to enroll your customers in preferred customer program. To me, I think PCP is one of the smartest things that you can actually do for your business. It is 70 cents a customer, and Mary Kay, for that 70 cents, that's the book is 35 cents. The mailing, if we did it at the post office, would be $1.40. Then Mary Kay personalizes it, and Mary Kay adds the sample to it. So here's what I know. It's important for us to enroll our customers early in PCP and not wait until 10 o'clock on the 17th, because all the samples are always gone. They always run out on the last day. So you want to make sure that you enroll your customers. So if you've got customers that you're adding to from the last PCP enrollment, you can do a quick enroll, and then you can also search by customers that you've added since the last enroll. So you can do multiple enrollments, and you're going to go under, and if you have questions, I have posted stuff in the Facebook group on how to go ahead and enroll your customers. It's under business tools, under preferred customer program, and you can enter your customers from My Customers Plus and My Customers. Next week, we're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about some of the apps, and I did that a couple of weeks ago, but how that we can utilize technology to make it work. Thank you notes. Do you send your hostesses thank you notes? Do you send your customers birthday cards? I send out birthday cards, and you can choose how you want to do that. They get a 20% off shopping from me on one order to celebrate themselves for their birthday. You can do one item if you want. You can do one order. And then if they share their beauty experience with their girlfriends, then they can literally have a birthday party. And you can decide that you want to give them a bigger discount, or you can give them free product. Totally up to you. Some people do a customer newsletter. I don't really do that. And then we want to, which is a great idea, but today, if we utilize our Facebook group, we can definitely put a product of the month on our Facebook group. You can do a little, how would I say this? You can do a commercial. I know Leslie's really great. So is Crystal. You guys are great with your color. If you tried a new look, you could literally go on, and some people are good with tutorials and show how to do a smoky eye look. But to have a product of the month and to romance that can all be tied into providing great customer service. Gift wrapped. Make sure that your product looks beautiful when you are delivering it. So today, when my customer picked up a product, it looks like a little gift. It's got a pretty bow on it. It's got some ribbon. If you're going to take something into a work environment, you can tie a balloon, but make it look festive. So when you're dropping that off, and if you can, always deliver to someone's work versus delivering and putting it on their porch. Because guess what? If you walk in with this beautiful basket, and you can have a basket and you can have products all in it and have her order kind of at the bottom, so that literally you have to take items out of the basket. And what are women? Women are nosy. They're like, oh my gosh, what's in there? And then you could spray, if you're going to go in, you can have if you've got your roses, you can spray your roses. Oh, by the way, my roses came in. So I'm going to have roses that everybody can get if you want to go out and do, if you want to use roses for lead generation. So I ordered those. So I'll have those for tomorrow night. Then know your customer's family. Like I make notes, and you can do this on your online now. So you can go in and make notes about, what are her children's name? And, if if her pet got sick and that's important to her, her husband's name, when birthdays are, that way you can have a conversation with them. And then, you want to be able to share our company, the facts about our company, our Mary Kay Foundation. I think that's important. You can get the cards on section 2 that are the breast examination cards. So you can include those in your reorder bag if you want. You can include a sample in your reorder bag. And then be a woman of your word. Call back and deliver products when you say you will. And then look the part. We don't always have to be dressed in a skirt or a dress. If you're on the ball field, you might look a little funky if you're dressed like that, but we can always have our hair and our makeup on. And then the most important thing that comes to customer service is to always wear a smile, because everybody has a sign around their back that says, make me feel important. And then everybody listens to the same radio station, WIIFM, what's in it for me. So one of the things that you want to key in on is always have bookings on your books. If you're out of bookings, you're out of business. So I was always taught that if you're working Mary Kay full time, you want to have 10 appointments on your books for the upcoming week, because half of those are going to be rescheduled or rearranged on your calendar. That's just what happens. And so that means you would hold 5. And then if you're part-time, you would have 10 appointments on your books for the coming 2 weeks. And that means out of those 10 appointments, you would be holding 5 appointments in the next 2 weeks. And then if you're hobby time, you would have 10 appointments on your books for the upcoming month. So then that means you would hold like 2 appointments a month. 10 appointments on your books for the month. That means you would hold 5, like 1 a week. And then you want to work smart and not hard. So you are always able to bring guests to our Tuesday night live, so that you can call that College and Cash. I know Michelle is doing our faces tomorrow night. So you want to RSVP to me by 9 o'clock on a Monday to let me know if you're bringing guests. And then you can confirm the number, because sometimes we add or we subtract numbers by noon, and then that just helps us to have the right number of people. So everything's set up for your guest on Tuesdays. And then, your goal, if you're building your business, I was always taught that we do 3 sharing appointments a week. So if you did, if you want to do 10 a month and you focus on 10 a month will give you anywhere from 2 to 3, typically, new team members a month. And if you're growing by 2 or 3, and then if someone wants to grow and promote themselves quickly, then the goal is 20 sharing appointments. And if you put Mary Kay on 30 faces and you share the opportunity with half the people, that's 5 there. And then you've got other people that you are layering, or maybe you've shared the opportunity with before they even experience the product. And then you want to have, birthday parties and open houses, and always give great customer service. A thank you card for your customer when they become your customer. Postcards that you can put in your reorder bags. And then calling your customers. So there'll be a script that you can call your customers when you have when their new lookbook lands. So just think of it this way: everybody wants to be made to feel important and to be valued. So how can you, when we go through the tracking sheets, and I'm going to pull those up in a little while, and we go through those tracking sheets, know that the Full Circle Faces tracking sheet is a really great way for you to, is a really great way that you can keep up with your customer service, because everything is there together. and so it just makes it very simple and very easy to do. All right, so time management. John Maxwell said, success is hidden in your daily routine. And we all have the same number of hours in a week. We have 24 hours in a day, right? We have 24 hours in a day, and we have 168 hours in a week. And so we want to plan our work and then work our plan. So let's talk about a weekly plan sheet. I'm going to pull up a weekly plan sheet. But before I do, I want to just share with you. So some people say, oh my gosh, how do I have, how do I want to work my business part-time if I'm working a full-time job? Okay, so let's just think of it this way. If you have 168 hours in a week, if you slept 8 hours a night, that would be 56 hours. Let me pull this up. Hold on, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see that? So, what? Can y'all see that?
I see it.
Okay, good. Okay, so who sleeps 8 hours a night? Definitely not me. So if you were working a job and you were working 8 hours a day, that would be 40 hours a week. If you gave yourself an hour to drive to work and back 5 days a week, that would be 5 hours. If you gave yourself an hour a day for grooming and getting dressed, that would be 7 hours. If you gave yourself an hour a day to eat, that would be 7 hours. If you gave yourself an hour a day to clean and do laundry, and you went to church for 3 hours, and you did shopping and errands for 3 hours, and you spent 3 hours a day, either with family, friends, or no personal time, that would take you 149 hours. You would have 19 hours remaining. Do you know where your time is going? So here is what I want you guys to know. We're going to talk about how to adjust adjust your plan sheet to fit your schedule. If you did 3 parties, 3 beauty experiences a week, that would be 6 hours of Mary Kay work time. If you did 3 interviews a week that took an hour, that would be 3 hours. Your success meeting is 2 hours. Sometimes ours is 2.5. Office inventory and paperwork, that would give you an hour and a half to do your paperwork. And you could say booking and scheduling. You could either have 3 hours or 5 hours, depending on how, if you're doing this part-time, you might not book every day. But this is saying I'm going to be on the phone 1 hour a day, doing booking, scheduling, reorders, miscellaneous, because between the 2 of those. So if you did that with holding 3 parties a week, then that would 3 beauty experiences, then that would be 17.5 hours. Okay, so I was going to share something with y'all. What was I just about to say that I thought I needed to say, and then I went to do this? Okay, we're going to talk about hours and about how we schedule our time, and it's going to come back to me. All right? But this is there's a training I did, and it's called Hours, and I can post it, and it's really on time management. It's about a 30-minute class, and this concept was, she is now a National Sales Emeritus, Jeannie Martin, but she came up with a training talking about hours. And so when she's working with her hours, it's 4 different categories when we talk about how do we plan our work and work our plan. And so the first category that we want to do is when we're going to call our booking category. So booking is the phone work or the texting or the calling, the conversations we have to schedule our actual appointments. Then the next area of our phone work is coaching. And so booking gets it, but coaching keeps it. So when we are coaching an appointment, it may be that I'm having a texting conversation with my hostess and getting her guest list or enrolling her or finding out what products that she would like to earn for free. And then the pre-profiling is when we are connecting with each of the guests, and then after the party to do the party follow-up. And then we have customer service. And so when I was talking earlier about customer service, how do you connect with those customers so that we build that relationship with them? And then the last one is sharing the opportunity. So if you look at this and if you were a part-time consultant, let me share the screen. If you were a part-time consultant and you said, you know what, I am going to invest, and I'm going to invest 2 hours a day on my work plan. Okay. So this is how you become disciplined and effective. And you want to be free from all distractions, such as children's, neighbors, spouses, pets. But you're going to do 2 hours of 2 hours of phone work a day. So if you did 2 hours of phone work a day, you could split it this way: 30 minutes of booking. And if you worked your personal bookings for your skincare class 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, you would generate a booking a day. You would book 5 in a week. You would book 20 in a month. And if statistically half of those hold, you would have 10 beauty experiences a month. And so statistically, you should hold 2 to 3 of these bookings, which would be 2 hours of class. Okay. So that would be 4 to 6 hours of work per week. And your average income from a 3-person class is $200. So if you sold $200 per class, you did 10 beauty experiences a week, that would give you $2,000 a month in personal retail, and your wholesale would be $1,000, and your profit would be $1,000. And if you're going to take 10% out to operate your business, that would still give you, at a 40% split, that would still give you $800 of profit that you could contribute to your family income. Okay, so let's talk about coaching. Coaching a day. Now, it's saying that we're going to do this 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. You may decide that you're going to coach on Fridays all of your appointments for Saturday or Sunday, or maybe you're going to coach on Thursday. You might not coach every day, but you might have your hours scheduled into your weekly plan sheet. And if you put your coaching on your calendar, you're going to put it on an appointment, just like you would schedule in your nail appointment, just like you would schedule in your booking calls, just like you would schedule in your carpool time that you're picking up your children from school. And so you're going to review the guest list. You're going to pre-profile. We talked about that. Customer service, we talked about that a while ago. Customer service, if you did 30 minutes of calls a day, 5 days a week, and you use this, and so say if you don't have existing customers, then take this 30 minutes and put it into the other 3 categories. Excuse me. Whew. You could put it into your booking. You could put it into your coaching. You could put it into your coaching. You could put it into your team building. But if you did this, an average reorder or sale of a new product in 30-minute period is $50. So if you invested 2.5 weeks, that would equal $250 in sales, and 10 hours a month, that would give you $1,000 in sales. So now you have $2,000 in sales from your initial sales, $1,000 in your reorder, and that's $1,500 wholesale if I'm adding the 2 together. And then your profit would be $1,200 if you're going to work off of a 60-40 split. And then team building, if you invested 30 minutes a day in team building, and that means you work your Mary Kay business 2 hours a day. Now, if you choose to work it more, you can choose to work it more. If you choose to work it less, you can choose to work it less. Totally up to you, but we're going to talk about what you could actually contribute to your family if you did this 2 hours a day. So on here, team building. If you did your team building and you called or you did set up your face-to-face sharing appointments, and if you did one team building appointment a day and you did 5 in a month and you did 20 shares in a month, if you booked 20 team building appointments in a month, you're going to hold 10, right? Because remember, we're going to schedule them to book them. If you conducted 2 interviews in a month, a coffee, a sharing appointment, then statistically, as a new consultant, you would have 2 new team members. And as you become more skilled, you could have 3 new team members. And so an average personal team member will come in with $1,000 wholesale order. And so if you have 2 qualified personal team members, that's going to give you $2,000 in wholesale on your team. So these numbers have not been updated, but in today's with Mary Kay changing our commission structure, instead of earning 4%, you would literally earn 8%. So if you were doing that, instead of having an $80 commission check, you would have a $160 commission check. So if you held your 10 parties in a month, you did 10 sharings in a month, and you did your customer service phone calls, and now this is going to be upped because now your commission is now 8%, and you're going to get team building commissions as well. So with that being said, you could look at contributing $1,660 of your profit, or $1,500. So $1,500 profit to your family for investing a couple of hours a week. Now, what doesn't count in the hours, what doesn't count in the hours is actually holding the party. So if you held 1 or 2 parties a week, if you said, you know what, I'm going to put Mary Kay on my 30 faces, you have a choice. You can have a party of 3, or you can schedule it and have a party of 5. It's totally up to you. My focus is I would rather have larger parties and have less of them than going out and doing a lot of individual appointments. Now tomorrow I'm actually doing a one-on-one appointment. I have a customer I've had for a very, very long time, probably since I was a really new consultant. And she's a little bit more of an introvert. And so I know she will be more comfortable sitting down with me, and I have kind of lost track. Anyways, she's one of those customers that kind of comes in my life and goes out, and then she'll come back in. And so I can give her an hour of my time and build that relationship. And she said, you know, I'm not feeling really confident about myself right now. You know, I feel like I'm aging. And so I could tell that she didn't want to really come to something that was like a big group. And I said, well, you know what, how about if you and I just get together for a one-on-one consultation? And she said, oh my gosh, that sounds so amazing. So this is where you listen to your customers and we meet them where they are. Now I'm going to show you a weekly plan sheet. So let me ask you, if you could find a couple hours a day and you could do some of the calls today, we do a lot through texting, and you texted maybe, if you have an Android, you could actually do your texting at midnight at night. If you're a night person, you can actually schedule all your texts to go out, and you don't have to physically text them at the same time. I use a system where I can schedule some of my texts and I can schedule them. But what I do know that if I'm going to text book, then people typically want a response back pretty quickly. And so I think a great time to do text booking is late morning, because then people can text you back during their lunch hour, and people text all the time during work, just so you know. So let's talk about a weekly plan sheet. So I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see my weekly plan sheet. And this is a color-coded weekly plan sheet. And these are the colors that I like to use, and maybe you want to use a different color. So I always think my quiet time, my prayer time, my exercise time, my me time is in blue. So I always think of that. I get to sit down and I think of heaven, okay? And then the yellow time is my family time. So I always think of the little happy yellow smiley face, and my family makes me smile. And then my husband has his red hot date night, and so my husband goes in red. And then your journey of the broke, your other job, is in gray. And then green is income producing Mary Kay time. So we call this IPAs in Mary Kay. An IPA is an income producing activity. And so with that being said, that would be a booking call. That would be holding your parties and your beauty experiences. That would be coaching your customer service and sharing. Remember, we talked about blocking out our time. And then your pink time is your Mary Kay success meeting. So it's not that you're going to, if you get your order in and you rearrange it on your shelf, that is not green time. That's not making you money. That is you're working, but it's not making you money. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to talk about. The biggest time waster today is distractions. I'm going to share something with you on distractions in just a second. And social media is the biggest waste of time. And I'm going to come back to the time wasters in just a second. That's what I was going to share with you. So if you looked at your weekly plan sheet and you said, I want to work my Mary Kay business, and if you were going to do it 4 hours of income producing activities a day, what would that look like? Or maybe you do 2 hours of income producing activities a day. So you're going to schedule yourself in 30-minute time slots. I will tell you, typically I work better when I schedule myself for an hour time to do calling, my calls and my bookings, because and sometimes I used to work in 2-hour time slots because I just felt like I was getting good at 1 hour, and then I could go ahead and just bust it out, and after I was on the phone for 2 hours, I was done. So this is a way that if you look at the mouse, you would go in and you would schedule yourself. So I have mine. If you look at mine, it's on my computer and I can print it out so I can see a hard copy of it. But my exercise time is in blue. When I wake up, when I do my devotion, when I'm going to have a date night, when I'm out of town, when I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and then I'll schedule all of that in so that you can honor your work plan. Does that make sense? And then there's different 6 lists. I'm going to show y'all this right quick too. This goes back into, so then these are daily sheets, and there's a bunch of different forms on daily sheets. Whichever one makes you, whichever one you like is good. You can use either or, but this is a daily plan sheet, and we call this a 6 list. You want to do this 6 list before you go to bed, because if you do your 6 list before you go to bed, your subconscious mind will go to work, and you will actually be much, much, much more productive. So on this, you would have this. I put this on my left side of the page, and I'm going to show you the other side I do on the right side, and you could create this in a little book, and I print them double-sided between the next 2 pages, and then you can put them in a book, and that way I write a lot, so I want to be able to have to be able to have room to write. So this is, did I do my quiet time? Did I do my devotion? Did I do my self-coaching? Have I visited my vision? My mental bath? Did a booking? Did I do my affirmations? Have I plugged into something? Have I listened to $1 million message? Hook in, or have you hooked in to listen to our Voxer, or have you had your coaching call with me? What did you do for your health and your fitness? What personal things do you need to get accomplished today? who are your prospective team members, your prospective bookings, your unit members, your customer service calls, your phone calls, your messages, your pre-profiling. So if you have all of this set up and you're talking to Mary and she says, call me in 2 days, you can flip your book over in 2 days and put her down and when you need to call her. And then this is your brain dump, because the rule of the schedule of working hours is that you, if you're doing your 30-minute or your hour of booking, if something while you're doing booking, if all of a sudden you think that you've got to coach someone, or you've got to call the school for your son, or you've got to do something that you said you were going to deliver a product, so instead of taking that hour and diluting your effectiveness, you're going to go in and you're going to start putting this as a brain dump into the quadrants so that you can work them during its schedule, the scheduled time. Does that make sense? So if I'm booking and all of a sudden I think, oh my gosh, I got to coach somebody, instead of hanging up during my booking time to book them, I would pick up the phone and coach them. That's not going to have me be effective. Instead, I'm going to put it in my brain dump sheet, and then I'm going to do that in my scheduled coaching time. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, questions, comments, any ahas, and then I'm going to talk about some distractions. And then I'm going to talk a little
That was a lot of information.
What?
It was a lot of information. Good information, though.
Okay.
And I didn't know though, like you were saying on the PCP, I did not know that if I waited to the last day that they ran out of samples and stuff. I always kind of wait till the last day because I was always trying to add my new customers in there just in case, but I didn't know I can do multiple enrollments, and I didn't know that you have the possibility of running out of samples too. I don't know why I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
And thank you notes and birthday cards. I'm struggling with that. So I would love your help with that and my website.
Okay. So what questions do you have for your website?
How to, what are the rights and wrongs, I guess? I don't know. I started my Facebook website, my Facebook one for Mary Kay.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're really going to dive into that. That's next week.
Oh, okay. That's a different thing. Okay. Yeah, good. Good. I'm looking forward to that.
So we're really going to talk about that, because that's a whole, when it comes to social media, that is a whole animal in itself. Like, yes. How do we do it?
And it's scary.
Yeah. How do we do it, and how do we do it effectively? But you're right. So I can go in and enroll my customers in my existing customers, and I can go in and you could literally, if you think of somebody, you can enroll 10 people on the last day. So that is one thing that you can do. I mean, if you wanted to enroll 10 different times, it's not going to cost you any, the cost isn't going to be any different if you do 10 different enrollments, because it's still the same amount per person, and so it doesn't buy you anything to wait. Okay. And then it's really scheduling your time, because what you want to do is you want to go, how am I effective, and how do I track? So we started a few minutes late. I'm gonna go through a couple of tracking forms and just really pull those up. Let's see. I don't know. Can y'all see this? Okay, this is my newsletter. So this tracking form right here, and I'll pull it up, is our Full Circle Faces tracking form. So there's a couple of things that we really want to track ourselves, because a track number grows. And if we don't do the tracking, then you're not in reality, and we don't know what we're actually, how effective we're being. And so it's kind of like, if we don't know our effectiveness, then how can we actually be effective if we don't even know what we're doing? So if I'm going to share, let me pull up a couple of things that are important for tracking. So where's my little share screen? Oh, here it is. Okay, so right here, our Full Circle Faces tracking form. Okay, this form is important because I have the date, the customer name, did I sell a basic, how much was my retail sales, how many referrals did I get, how many second appointments did I book, did I share the opportunity, and did I recruit her? So I'm going to put my hostess here and say I've got 5 people at my first class. So I block mine. Bless you. I literally take this and I go right here and I will go in, if you can, let's see, where's my mouse? I can go like this, 5 people, and I'll block those that I know that was all in one party, and the hostess is always first, so I know that is, and I can put little notes out here. I don't put their phone numbers anymore, bless you, because all of their phone numbers are programmed into my phone, so I don't need to write down the phone numbers, but if you're not going to program them into your phone, then you would write the phone numbers. And then basics. So the numbers you want to track yourself to be effective with your business is half the people that you put product on, then you want to sell them a basic skincare set. So if you put Mary Kay on 30 Faces, you want to have sold no less than 10 to 15 basic skincare sets out of the month. And if you're not selling skincare sets, then that's a red flag that maybe something in your skill is in your closing. And then you want to track your retail sales. And so a new consultant will sell an average of $50 a face, and a master consultant will sell an average of $100 a face. And so if you're not getting those numbers, and you want to look at the whole month, but you want to self-coach yourself each week so that if something isn't flowing and maybe you're not selling, you held 3 parties and you sold, $100, then that's a red flag to you going, oh my gosh, well, maybe I need to get in communication with Lisa and we need to role play or see what I'm not, either what I'm saying or I'm not saying because I'm not closing. And then the number of referrals is we want to get 3 referrals per person. And as you master the skills, you'll get 10 referrals per person. So you can get anywhere from 90 to like 100 to 200 to 300 new referrals every month by you playing the referral game. And then the numbers are half the people that we ask to book appointment will say yes. So if you put Mary Kay on 30 Faces, you should have 15 appointments booked. Out of those 15 appointments booked, then 5 to 8 of those are going to hold, which is your power start for the next month. And then the same thing with the opportunity. If we ask everybody, then guess what? Then half will say yes. And then did I recruit them? And so at the end of each month, you're actually working that sheet so that you can literally be effective. And then everybody that you put faces on in April, then guess what? April, May, June. So when June comes around, those are the people that you're going to call for customer service calls. And then we've got our, and then after that tracking sheet, you've got your weekly accomplishment sheet, and we have our, did I stop this share? I don't know if I did or not. No. Let me see. We have the sharing sheet that we are going to track our career conversations. And then there is a sheet that we go in, let's see, I'm going to share my screen, but you can do it if you're doing the My Customers Plus app that we talked about this in another class, but we can touch on it briefly next week. You can either do your weekly accomplishment sheet either online, and if you use the My Customers Plus app, it all is tracked in the My Customers Plus app, and your weekly accomplishment sheet is actually populated automatically, or you can do it manually. But that sheet is kind of how you track your business. Like that is the full circle sheet is for you to track your skills, but the weekly accomplishment sheet is to track your money and your actual money. Does that make sense? Because the weekly accomplishment sheet encompasses everything. That's your on-the-go sales, your web sales, and then but the other one is just your faces. So with that, any questions before we hop off, Crystal? I know you said that was a lot, but do you have any questions?
No, that's good. In fact, the way that you just now described how the one tracking is for faces and the other tracking is for money, that helps me understand a lot better how they all come together.
Yeah, so the other one is really, are you working your time effectively? And then once you've got it all on a sheet of paper, you've got an easy way to make follow-up phone calls. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
you don't have to go through a bazillion sheets of paper or all your profiles if you have all that information tracked on one sheet of paper.
Right. Yeah, and I'm definitely pretty good at keeping up on my customers app because I like that it moves it all over for me. That's one less step.
I know, and you don't have to do anything.
Yes, I definitely, and I know too when I've messed up because when I go to get into InTouch and it didn't bring everything over, I'm like, oh, I know I didn't do something. So it's a real easy fix. So I like that. That's very user friendly.
Okay, great. All right. So Leslie, before we hop off, is there any ahas or any questions that you have? I don't know if she can hear us. Let's see.
Well, I can hear you.
Good. Hey, Leslie, do you have any questions?
Yes, the other sheet that you were showing and
you know what? You can't hear you. You're just like, you sound like you're like garbly. You want to type or you can text me because I can't understand you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Here, I'm going to stop the recording. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to see if I can